Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the overall recap of the 2024 show season. Let's get into it. So this is one of my most anticipated videos that I do each year. The 2024 recap will be all of the shows that I did throughout the 2024 show season. We're going to talk about every single show, whether it was worth it, whether it was not worth it. If you want any specific details about each show, you know, what products I took, how my booth looked, what each individual item sold, you'll need to check out each individual video. Today we're going to do an overview. And if you want to see my 2023 or my 2022 recap, I'll have those linked down below. The other most anticipated video that I do throughout the year is the 600 jar opener challenge. So that'll be next month. In February, I make 600 jar openers to help replenish the stock of jar openers that I've sold throughout the year. So that video posts early March. So first video, most anticipated video of the year, we're doing right now. Okay, so without further ado, I have an Excel here that tells me the date of the show, the name of the event, the location, the booth fee, if there was an app fee, the total cost, the amount of days, what my goal is. And for the goal, it's a formula, so it's 3 times what I paid to be there. And then the total sales, the credit card fees, if I made the booth, if it was indoor or outdoor, who the contact was, and either the phone number or the email or the website URL. This is an Excel that I have shared. You don't have editing rights, but you can view the Excel. I'll have that link down below. So that's the top chunk. Those are the column headers. That's the top chunk of the Excel. In the middle part of the Excel are shows that I either got rejected or waitlisted, or I ended up not going for some reason. So that is a list of shows that I tried to participate in but did not. The top chunk are the ones that I actually did. And then at the very bottom are shows that I've done in the past, but I did not do or try to participate in this year. And so I have this printed out, but you can access the Excel. And then I have on the bottom of my sheet here written out all of the different show suggestions that I got throughout the year from different people. I have all of the numbers of all of the products as total sold throughout the year. And then I have my set list of the things that I want to do for next year, the 12 shows that I want to do for next year. Whether or not they accept me or not, that's up to them, but these are the shows that I would most likely want to pursue. Okay, so I ended up doing, drum roll please, 14 craft shows. If you haven't already watched my goal video, I'll have that link down below. But one of my 12 goals of the 2024 year was to participate in 12 craft shows. So I accomplished that goal and then some. I actually did 15 craft shows if you want to count the yard sale I did in front of my house. But I didn't list that in this breakdown. So the first show of the year was in January and the last show of the year was in December. So I had a January, March, May, July, September, October, November, 1, 2, 3, 4 November, and then 2 December. That's the breakdown of the shows. So you can see that they're kind of condensed. I want to do even better this year about having my shows more condensed together so that in the times that I'm not going to the shows, I can be prepping inventory and have as much stuff ready and be more focused on my content and not be shuffling my stuff around. So my goal is to do a bunch of shows in the fall and winter time, and then a couple shows in the spring. Maybe one show. I think I have one show written down for the summer, which is fine. One show is fine, and this is a location that I like going to. Okay. As far as places that I went, I worked with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time keeping count here. Okay, so what am I trying to say here? Okay, so I worked with 9 different event organizers and I did 14 different shows. So the first place was Quakertown Craft Show, or Quakertown Farmers Market. So I went there 1, 2, 3, I could have sworn there was 4 times. 4 times, yeah. I went there 4 times. I did 5 Quakertown shows, but 4 of them were at the farmers market and 1 of them was with the Autumn Alive folks. So the Quakertown farmers market was January, March, November, and December. It was $25 each time. I put $14 in the app fee box because it costs $14 on the toll road for me to get there. And so the total cost was $39. So my goal was 117 each time. The first 2 times I was there, the first time I made $38, the second time was $22. The third time I was there, it was 130, and then the last time was 130. So in total, I made 160. So less than $200, or no, no, I did calculate that wrong. 260, and then okay, less than $300 total going 4 times. So it wasn't really worth it for me to go to that show. If I did it again, I would only do it in November or December. As of right now, I do not plan to do that show. However, I will see what my schedule looks like, what shows I get accepted and rejected from. I would not do any of the spring or the summertime shows at the Quakertown Farmers Market. So that is show 1 and show 2. Show 3 was at the Leesport Farmers Market. So I went there 3 times. I really like it there. I think that they are super easy to work with. So the first show, that's an indoor show. This second show is an outside show. And my favorite part about it is that you roll up with your car and your car is right next to you. So doing the show solo, that makes it so easy to, get your stuff out. They provide tables. I don't use their tables. I leave them in the space because it's nice to like open my tables on their tables, because I try to not like bust up the feet of my tables. And I really like it. It's really easy. Sometimes I've done well, sometimes not so much. So like the first time I was there, it was $75. The second time was $60. And then the third time was $55. And I made $164, and then $202, and $112. So that is more than $400, like $450 going 3 times. So I definitely think that place is worth it. I have them on my list for next year, and I want to do, so next year, so the Leesport Farmers Market, they are open every Wednesday, I believe, and then they're open for shows like once a month, and sometimes it's a craft show, sometimes it's a this show, sometimes it's a that show. So some of the ones that I've done have not been the craft show. Next year, I only want to do the ones that are labeled craft show, because I definitely feel like I did better at those ones. So that was May and July and October. So the next venue was, let's see here. Show 5 was in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. This was working with the Lioness Club. That was $30 to be there. So my goal was $90. I made $22 in sales. So that show was not worth it. That show and the second time I was at Quakertown, those were both 2 times that I did not make my booth. So I would not do that show again. I do not plan to do any small shows like that this year. If I do any sort of like church or local group or high school shows, I need to hear from another vendor source that the show is worth it. I'm not going to just sign up for something that I found online. So nothing bad happened at that show. There was nothing like detrimental that happened. It wasn't enough. There wasn't enough customers. I did not make enough sales. It was not worth my time being there. It would have been more productive for me to be at home making things or do a live video with you guys. So that was show 5. Show 6 was the controversial September Harry Potter show. So I got a lot of hate comments about this show online when I was doing my whole Harry Potter series and prepping for this show. People did not like the fact that I was going to sell Harry Potter products. But I tell you what, every single show I go to, people are selling trademarked items. So, you know, I did it for one show. I was curious how it was going to be. The show was one of my most successful shows of the whole year, but it was an absolutely terrible day. If you want to know all the details of that event, I'll have that video linked down below. I do not feel like getting worked up about it and like spilling the tea on this video. Too many words to say. The only follow-up I have is that the email that I sent to the event host and to the venue, I never heard back from. So that was in September and it is January now. So what is that, over 6 months? September, October, November, December, January. Okay. Over 4 months and I never heard back anything. So yeah, I will not be working with that event host again. I will not be going to that venue again as a customer or as a vendor, which is disappointing because it was a really successful show. I don't think I would do another trademark show because it wasn't worth all the like stress and like trying to make sure I had all of this expensive fabric and this and that. So I wouldn't do it again, but it was cool to try it and see what it was like. So that show, that cost $20 to be there, and I had $987 in sales. The next show we already talked about was October at Lee Sport. And then the one after that was October in Quakertown. So that was the Autumn Alive. So this is different than the farmer's market. The farmer's market is inside of a building. It's like a huge flea market building. The Autumn Alive show is in the heart of Quakertown. It's outside in the streets. They do a fall and a springtime show. So this was the fall show. I paid $85 to be there and I had a goal of $297. I had $152 in sales. So I didn't hit my goal, but I didn't do super poor, right? Like it was a learning experience, right? And what I didn't know was it was such a dog-centric event. I have dog patterns, but I do not have any dog products. So I am in the works right now on making a dog product that I'm hoping to go to that show next year and to have that product prominent. And I'm thinking that that's going to be a big seller and help draw people into my booth. So I do want to try that again because it wasn't a total fail. I made my booth back, but I wasn't like super successful. You know, it paid for my booth and it paid for my gas, but that was about it. And that was an outside show because it was in the street. The next show was the 2-day show in Clark County. This is the one where I thought it was at the fairgrounds, but it was actually inside. So it is the Clark County equivalent to the Loudoun County Ida Lee show. As you know, there's a little bit of hurt feelings there that I cannot get into the Ida Lee show. As of right now, my Spring Bling, so the March show, one of my best shows, I am currently waitlisted for the 2025 show, so I do not have that listed as one of my 12 because I don't see myself getting into it. I will apply for the winter 2025 show and see if I get in or not. At this point, it's kind of like a game to me, right? Like, let me just reply every single time and see if I ever get in. I don't think I will, but I'm gonna try. So it ended up being an inside show. It was $160 for 2 days, and I paid extra because I had a bigger booth. It ended up being a great spot. I had 2 corners essentially. Loved that. My goal was $480. In the first day, I made $464 in sales, and the second day was $166. So that show was well worth it. Once again, that's a show in the spring and the fall, and I'd like to try that again next year. The next show is the EMG Northern Virginia craft show. Northern Virginia Christmas Market is what they call it. That's a 3-day show, but a 4-day commitment because you go in on Thursday and you set up and then you're there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's in Chantilly at the Dulles Expo. So that's like a go big or go home. I paid $850 to be there. It was $750 for my booth and $100 for the application. I did pay extra because I had a booth and a half and I had a corner booth. I do think that those are 2 things that so much so help your sales. It was actually really cool the way that my booth was. I was in a like cube of people where there was 4 of us, right? And each one of us was on a corner. So that was really cool to be like in that grouping. But I would pay for a booth and a half and a corner booth there each and every time. Well worth it. So $850. My goal for the weekend was $2,250. On the first day, on the Friday, I had $1,088 in sales. The second day on Saturday was $1,064 in sales, and then Sunday was $872. So I more than hit the goal. We were close to $3,000 for that weekend. So I will definitely be doing that show again. And I do want to try their Virginia Beach show, but I need to look up the cost of hotel as an added expense. The next show that I did was that in Virginia as well. It was at Great Beginnings Preschool. This show is not a huge show, so you're not going to make a ton of money, but I absolutely love doing this show. The stress level of it is so low. The woman who organizes it, Heather, she is so wonderful. She is so kind. I love being able to support them, and the money goes to the preschool. I think it's absolutely wonderful. It costs $30 to be there. My goal was $90. It's a 2-day show, so you set up and you're there for the evening. So the parents and the families and the grandparents can come in the evening, and then you leave your stuff and you come back in the morning. So when the parents are doing drop off, they can come in once again. So for 2 days, in the morning, so the goal was $90. In the evening, the first day, I made $150 in sales, and in the morning it was $88 in sales. So blew my goal out of the water. I was not expecting that many sales, but it was really nice. And then the next show that I did in November was once again at the Quakertown Farmers Market. That show, I was successful in that singular show as a single show. However, if I grouped together the 4 Quakertown shows as a whole, it was not successful. The second to last show was in Sterling, Virginia, and that was with the Real Ladies of Loudoun County. So that is the show that I signed up for last minute because I was supposed to be at the Ida Lee show. I didn't get my wait list information until like October or something. So I didn't know that I was waitlisted. Like I was reaching out, hey, like what's going on with my application? And then I got waitlisted. So I needed to find something else for that weekend. I was debating doing this other show that was outside on Saturday in Virginia, but I was like, I really don't want to like have to take my tent and be outside and be freezing and need lights because it's going to get dark. And I was like, that's too much. So I don't know if I would have done well at that show or not. I didn't sign up for that one, but this one was on a Sunday. The Real Ladies of Loudoun County, I worked with them many times. The woman who runs it is Roxanne. She's a really kind woman. She's great to work with, but I have never been successful at any of these shows. I do not think that I'm in the target market. I have now gone full circle, done all of the different shows with them, and it's me, it's not them, because other people I see there are doing well. I think it's because I have a product to sell. I'm not selling a service. Most of their people there are MLMs or people selling a service, and that is not what I am. So maybe if I had my kits or if I was doing classes or something, people would be interested in what it is that I have to sell. But at the time being, it does not seem worth it for me to do shows with them. So maybe next year or the year after I might do another show. No hard feelings. There's nothing that happened. It's just our, like, what I'm selling and the customers just don't line up. So that was on a Sunday in Sterling. I paid $100 to be there. My goal was $300. I had $80 in sales. And then the last show of the year was once again at the Quakertown Farmers Market. And once again, as a singular show, that show I was successful at, but as a whole, it was not successful. So was the booth made, yes or no, at all of the shows? So of the 14 shows, 3 of them I did not make my booth. That was at the second Quakertown show, at the Drums Lion Lioness show, and at the Real Ladies of Loudoun County event. So those were 3 shows that I would not want to repeat. I don't want to do that again because I did not even make my booth back. And so that's not even profit, right? That's just sales and how much the booth cost. And then there were 11 shows that I did make my booth, but on some of them I did not make my goal. So what am I trying to say? In total, I spent $1,468 in booth fees, and I had 15 total show days. That doesn't sound right. I don't feel like that added up correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I thought that was right or wrong. I had 18 total show days for the year. My goal was $4,404 as a whole. And that, like I said, that is the cost of being there times 3. So times 3, the first one would repay the booth, the second one would pay taxes, and the third one goes towards the product and profit. So the total sales of all of the shows was $5,895. So I did exceed my goal. I paid $134.70 in credit card fees using my Square app. And so the estimated taxes I have is $1,768.50. So if we take the total sales minus the taxes and the fees, the credit card fees and the estimated taxes, we're left with $2,523. So I have roughly $2,000 in the bank for next year to be able to sign up for shows, which is great because like I said, this year I spent $1,400 on show fees. So next year having that little extra wiggle room means that I can apply for some bigger shows that have bigger fees. So the breakdown of what items sold and what items didn't sell as much. So in total, the gross sales was 6,640 and the net sales was $6,091.86. The reason there's a difference there is because in person I do buy 3 get $2 off. I had a total of 338 transactions and an average of $18.02 was the average sale. 70% of my transactions were credit card. And of the top 4 products that I sold were jar openers, reusable towels, tissue pouches, and wine bags. The jar openers were a total of $3,828, which is 638 jar openers. The reusable towels was $1,840, which is 115 towel sets. And then the tissue pouches, $414, which is 69. And then the wine bags, 300, which is 30 of them. So the difference in sales is dramatic, right? So we go from almost $4,000 down to less than 2 to 400 to 300, right? So that is why I want to start cutting out all of these other products. I mean, the end goal is to be online anyways, but that is why I mentioned in another video that I'm not going to do the towels anymore. I'm still going to have them next year, 2025. I will still have the towels available. My goal is all of this cotton flannel right here, get this guy chopped up, as well as the cotton flannel from the last haul of 2024, get all this stuff cut up, get it all serged and packaged up. Once it sells, we're done, because it's not worth the space it takes up in my bins, in my booth. I can fit so much more value and quantity of jar openers in a bin than I can the towels, and people are not as interested in the towels as they are the jar openers. So 2026, my goal is to have only jar openers and kits in my booth. So we'll see how much I sell out this year and how that transition ends up happening. This year, what I'm going to do is I am going to go through my inventory. We're going to do this later this week. Go through all the inventory, see what patterns are there, update my Etsy listings, hopefully sell some more online this year, and then that will also allow me to know how much inventory I have, how many variety of patterns that I have, and then we'll do it again after the 600 jar opener challenge and after I get all of the towels made. And I love having that goal and knowing that that's what I'm working towards so that I can knock it out, have it ready to go. So if I have a last minute show, boom, I can go do it. So of the let me tell you all the suggestions that I got. So the suggestions that I got at different shows, different people telling me, oh, go to this one, go to this one. I got told to go to the National Apple Festival in Biglerville. Some of these are in Pennsylvania, some of them are in Virginia. The Bedford Fall Foliage, Harrisburg Christmas, Hemlock Farmers, Holly Hoedown, Wallenpaupack Area High School, Galilee Christmas Market, Lewisburg Farmers Market, Lincoln Elementary, West Reading, Hometown Craft Show, and St. Paul the 4th. So those are ones that I need to do some more research on, see what the application fee is like, see what the application process is. Some of them are more complicated than others, and see how they fall in line on the calendar versus the shows that I really want to do. So the shows that I really want to do, I wrote out 1 through 12, and most of them are going to the same place more than once because I either really like the venue or I like the event host. Different reasons like that. So show 1 and 2 are to do the Clark County inside the building, the spring and the fall. And again, this is if I get accepted, if I'm allowed to go. Clark County is 1 and 2, the Quakertown Autumn Alive and the Spring Alive. So that's 3, 4. The Northern Virginia Christmas Market with EMG. So that is the Veterans Day weekend show in November. And then I also want to do their show Thanksgiving week in what's it called, in Virginia Beach. So again, I got to look at how much it costs and how much extra money I have left over after all of these fees. But that's show number 6 I want to do. 7 is Great Beginnings. 8, 9, and 10 are Leesport Farmers Market. That's April, July, and September. They do, I think, have 5 shows total, but those other 2, I don't know if I can do them. Like one of them, I already have an event that day, a personal event that day, and then the other one is if I go to the EMG show in here, let me write it like this, or Leesport. So I can't do the Leesport November show and do the EMG show in Virginia Beach. It's either one or the other. So it's nice to know that I'm still going to do something in that period of time, but I can't be in Virginia Beach and Leesport, Pennsylvania at the same time. So we'll see what the fees are, and we'll see which one I get accepted into as to which one I'll be doing. And then the last 2, 11 and 12, are 2 new ones that I want to try out. I've heard great things about the Hometown Craft Show, that's in Pennsylvania, and then the Doylestown Craft Show. So those are the 2 that I want to try and get into. The Doylestown one, I did try to do that one this year, so that's in the middle section of my Excel. I got waitlisted. So I'm going to try that one again. And then the Hometown, I don't think I ever applied. Yeah, I never applied to that one. So we're going to try those 2. That is my goals and aspirations for 2025, is to do those 12 shows. Are they going to be those 12 exact shows? I don't know. We'll have to see. It depends on how much the application fees are, if I get accepted or rejected, how they work out on the calendar. But the other ones that I might try incorporating are the ones that I have suggested at the bottom, as well as I'll take a look at that middle section of my Excel. And as long as I didn't write something like, I don't want to do this one, because there was a couple that I went and scoped out and I was like, not worth my time, not worth my time. I don't want to do this one, or I got rejected. Like the equivalent, I believe, the equivalent of the Dulles Expo show that they have in Pennsylvania. I applied to that show, and the rejection I got was not just that like it was full or something. They did not want me at all. Like my product was not good enough for them. So I'm not applying to that show ever again because I'm not what they wanted. And what's funny is I actually got like a notification. I was like, apply to our craft show. And I was like, you guys rejected me last year. Why are you asking me to apply? Because some of these, when you apply and you submit your application fee, you don't get it back. So anyways, that is all of my data. That is the 2024 recap, as well as the goals for 2025 as far as shows. I am going to be working on my content creation plan for 2025. So if there's any specific videos you'd like to see this year, please drop them in the comment section of this video or any other video, and I will see them. And I'm going to be showing you guys later this week. We're going to be going through the inventory and seeing the quantities and the patterns that we have available. And then later this month, we're going to talk about content creation and what my ideas are for the year. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.